Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be covering an anime that I just recently watched, and that is Parasyte the Maxim. Yeah, I'm going to get into my thoughts here in just a second, but I don't really cover anime a whole bunch anymore, but this, after watching it, has really, if it was an episode of anime review, it would rank very high, and I've got quite a bit to say about this, and it definitely struck a chord with me in terms of like stuff that I've been looking for in an anime as of lately. So yeah, I just kind of want to talk about that for a bit. After all, it is my channel, so yeah, want to talk about Parasyte? We're talking about Parasyte. So yeah, let's get right into it. Before I do get started though, as you guys might be able to tell, this entire shelf I have cleared off of all of the pops that were there. If you guys don't know, I kind of got out of the pop game quite a while ago. There hasn't been any pop related content on the channel here in a long time. And yeah, I got a bin and put them in the sell bin. So hopefully in like the coming weeks, maybe even next weekend, I'm gonna attempt to sell those pops. So yeah, that entire shelf is empty at the moment. Still don't know what I'm gonna do with that shelf, even if like I'm gonna keep it or not. But I was thinking about displaying books, because down there I have all of like my books, but the shelf as it is, not sturdy enough. I guess it needs more of those support pieces, because yeah, books are a lot heavier than pops, so yeah, I don't think it would be very good. It would probably take it out of the wall, honestly. So yeah, if you guys were wondering, I just wanted to throw this in at the beginning here that yes, this entire shelf is completely empty. So let's get into what this video is actually about, and that is Parasyte. Now, if you've been living underneath a rock for like the last almost, I don't even know when this anime came out, to be honest, but for several years, then yeah, you're missing out, because Parasyte is freaking awesome. It's based on the, I believe, 80s manga series. Now, my brother actually owns the first 2 volumes of Parasyte, released by Kodansha, and it seems to be one of the few series Kodansha has done right physically. Like, the volumes feel really nice and compact, and also have like a matte finish on it, kind of. It's pretty interesting, and yeah, they're pretty good. And I love the art inside the Parasyte manga. It definitely has like that 80s, kind of early 90s manga look to it, as far as like the art. Reminds me a lot of like Alita Battle Angel, or even like early JoJo, like parts 1 and 2. That's what the art reminds me of in it. Yeah, I really enjoy that. I think it's definitely, you look at the art and you can, it's so distinctive, like to that time period, which I really do enjoy. Of course, these days, and the various manga, you know, the art is all over the place. It's almost indistinguishable. Like, you don't know when it came out, whether it's from early 2000s or could have even come out, you know, this year even, you know. But yeah, just the manga from back then, it's definitely certain series. I'm not saying this applies to every series, but you can definitely tell. And I'm actually a big fan of the way that manga looks, that time period. I definitely went a little off topic there, talking about the art of the manga, but I was going to try and segue that into the fact that after watching the anime, I really wanted to read and experience the manga, and I was going to pick it up. And my brother actually was thinking about selling off some of his manga, because I mean, it's a hobby that he had for a minute, but it's not something that he really actively reads and is a part of like I am. He's not really super engrossed in the community. So he was thinking about selling off a couple things, including Parasyte. Though he's never read it, trying to get him to read Parasyte. So I was gonna pick those up off of him, but then I remembered that late, or I don't know exactly when, I think maybe early, but October of this year, we're actually supposed to be getting full color hardcover editions for Kodansha, or from Kodansha, and I hope that they do this right, because, man, if I can have that on the shelves and be able to experience Parasyte in manga format but full color, I would absolutely love that. I loved the anime, and yeah, I really want to be able to read it, but full color would just be awesome. And so now I'm holding off until October before I put it on the shelves. Yeah, I just want to throw that in and talk about the manga for Parasyte, because I wanted to let you guys know that I'm holding off until October, because yeah, I don't know if we have like cover images, or like what exactly they're doing for the hardcover, like, you know, the manga cover. I don't know what they're doing, if it's just going to be the same as like the single volume things. I'm not sure. In fact, I don't even know if those single volumes are actually singles or if they're omnibus editions. I really don't know. Or if these hardcovers are going to be omnibuses. I have no idea. All I know is that they're hardcover, full color, and they're coming out, or supposed to be coming out in October. One of the reasons why I definitely want to read the manga is because the manga reading experience for Parasyte is vastly different from watching the anime. Both tell roughly the same story. There are some pretty big changes, and one thing that I thought was really interesting is that in the anime, it's a modernized version of what the manga was, because, like I said, obviously the manga came out, I believe, in the 80s, but this is definitely like a 2010s just modernized version of the story. So like the technology, like cell phones and even computers and stuff, you know, it's definitely more advanced technology. Also, the character designs are, for the most part, like almost completely different. I think the character that looks most similar to their counterpart in the manga is the main character, Shinichi, I believe, if I remember correctly. And the entire time I was watching Parasyte, I wanted to call him Shigechi, like from JoJo, which is disrespectful, honestly, to the Parasyte main character. Yeah, all my homies hate Shigechi. But yeah, Shinichi, that's his name, I believe. So, yeah, his character design is probably the most true to the manga, but everybody else definitely is like very modernized, and like I said, the technology around them, and that's what makes the manga such a different experience than watching the anime. You're still getting the same story, but there is quite a few differences in that aspect. Another one of the elements that I did really like about Parasyte is the horror aspect. It has to do with aliens and stuff, so I mean, aliens by default are already kind of weird. But I really loved how they did the whole like grotesque body horror kind of stuff, where like people's faces will like unravel and turn into like giant tentacle blade things. That was really awesome. I loved seeing that, and where there were like people's like faces would open up and turn into giant mouths and stuff. That part of it was really awesome, and definitely pretty gory. Yeah, the action was amazing. The fight scenes, top notch. Of course, being animated by Madhouse, so you know it's going to be pretty legit. So, yeah, really awesome fights. The gore and the like I said, the body horror stuff. Really loved it. I thought it was excellently done. And then another part that I did like, that I've been really searching for anime lately, is to not, I don't really all the time like just slice of life stuff. You guys know me, I'll watch a slice of life show sometimes, but for the most part, it's gotta have action, and that's why mainly I read and watch like Battle Shonen and like Shonen Jump stuff. but I also am kind of thirsting for a good story with a good romance in it, and this story had it. It had top notch, pretty freaking legit. Also, the girl, what was the girl's name? I'll throw it up on screen. I can't remember what her name was, but top notch waifu right there. Yeah, pretty epic. The romance in it was really good. I liked how the main character, it kind of reminded me of like a superhero story where he can't really tell anybody about what's going on, and so like he keeps having to make excuses why he's dropping out of a date, or like, you know, hey, I've got to go, like, and she's like, what do you mean? That whole part I thought was really interesting, and again reminded me of a lot of like Spider-Man. Yeah, so, but in the end, I mean, spoiler alert, they end up being together, but the whole end part, like the very end and like the last episode, that was crazy. And with there being, you know, a good romance in Parasyte, there was a little something in there, you know. It got a little spicy towards the end, I will say. One part in particular, that's all I'm gonna say. And I think it's even better in the manga. So yeah, can't wait to get the manga. But in the anime, just, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. What am I even talking about? Now, I'm not gonna pretend to be like one of those people who, you know, claim to understand like the true meaning of an anime, or like pick up on all the themes that it's trying to convey, but I did, you know, I thought it was interesting, especially at the end there, them talking about the whole like humans on Earth. It kind of reminded me of like ecocentrism, or talking about like ecocentrism and like anthropocentrism and stuff like that. They kind of brought that up towards the end, I guess. That was like a big theme, talking about humans and like the environment and stuff like that, which, I mean, I didn't really care about, to be honest. You know, whether you understand or like it hits you super deep, like the themes that it's trying to convey, I don't really know. Like, I mean, when a show try and conveys like that kind of stuff, I just I don't know, it never really hits me super deep, but I guess that's just me. Anyway, that was one thing I thought I'd mention. Probably the most interesting part about the show that I really enjoyed is the main character, Shinichi. He ends up getting something, like, in the middle of the show, there's something that happens, I guess, I mean, this is a spoiler review. His mom dies. She gets taken over by a parasite. Well, she gets her, like, head chopped off, and then, like, the parasite takes over her body. So, at one point, the main character ends up having to fight his own dead mom, which is pretty messed up. But after he does that, he's got, like, a pretty screwed up, like, mindscape, I guess. Like, I mean, after having to kill your own mom, I guess, you know, I guess you'd be pretty screwed up. But he goes through, like, this major character development where he kind of loses his emotions in a way. He just becomes super cold, and he has a lot of trouble keeping his girlfriend. You know, she notices, she's like, you're not the person I fell in love with, like, that whole thing. And he doesn't really understand what anybody is talking about until later on, when I think he fights, I don't know if he fights, no, he doesn't fight her, but he talks to the one lady at the end, or not at the end, but like the teacher lady that turned out to be a parasite, that lady. He talks to her at the end when, like, or not at, again, I keep saying at the end, it's not really at the end, but, I mean, it's in the second half of the show. when she dies and she has the baby and stuff, he like regains his emotions, and then he starts crying, and so he like, I don't know, regains his humanity, which I really did like, because he starts to notice the change too, because the thing about parasites, and Migi especially, is that they're emotionless. They don't have empathy like humans do. They do whatever they need to do to survive. And so because he kind of combined with Migi, after, you know, he got his heart wrecked by his mom, Migi had to use his own cells to like merge with him, so now he has like superhuman abilities. So him losing his humanity, he thought was like a part of, and it very well could have been, but I don't think that's the case. As a result of him fusing with Migi, him losing his humanity and becoming more like the Parasyte. But, you know, after him talking to the one lady with the baby at the end there when she dies, I keep saying at the end, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he just regains his humanity, and then he, you know, there's the part, and you know, he finds like the will to keep on fighting, so that he can continue to protect Murano, or Satomi, the girl he likes. So yeah, that whole part about him losing his humanity, that whole part I really enjoyed, and that was some of the most compelling stuff. And between that and like the romance aspect, it was definitely a slow burn, and like the huge character arc, and like over the entire show, ever since like in the middle-ish when he has to fight his mom and you start to notice all those changes in his emotions and stuff. I remember when he goes to see his dad and he leaves town, and then he looks back at Satomi and he's got like the dead eyes. Like that's when it really starts. And yeah, I really enjoyed it and how it was resolved at the end. Almost everything about this show is perfect. I wouldn't exactly give it a 10 out of 10. Definitely a 9 out of 10 at least. Very good show. I highly recommend it. But yeah, that's about all I have to talk about Parasyte. Very interesting plot, good romance, great animation, a horror aspect, gruesome. Overall, just an awesome show. I completely forgot to mention, the OST in this show is so good. Like the battle themes, like the battle music, hype. It is so hype. It has a really weird but awesome opening. I forget what it's called. I forget what the opening is called, but it's also fantastic. The ending song is also, that's a vibe, especially when it plays in like the more heartfelt moments when they start playing the ending theme. Yeah, the battle music especially though, like every time I heard it, it was so like not upbeat, but like just hype, and it got you like, let's get right into this, you know what I mean? Fantastic soundtrack in my opinion. I thought it was amazing. That's gonna be about it for today's video. I know I haven't done an anime review sort of video in a long time. I definitely do enjoy doing these like unscripted, unoutlined sort of videos where I just remember stuff and like talk off the tip of my mind. That doesn't make any sense, but yeah, these sort of videos, right, I might do them more often. One thing I did want to do is be able to watch an anime without having to just review it, because that was sort of, for me, it was taking the fun out of watching anime, because every time I'd watch an anime, I felt like I had to do a whole video on that. But this anime was something special to me. You know, it's been so long since I've been that hyped to watch a show, and maybe it was because I was watching One Piece for such a while, and got completely burnt out on that. I am taking quite the break watching One Piece just so that I can watch more anime. And yeah, after watching One Piece for so long, hopping into such a hype anime like this was truly a special experience for me. And right now, I'm currently watching Tokyo Revengers, which is fantastic so far. I might even do a video on that. I have a lot of the same opinions about Tokyo Revengers that I do about this show. So, the romance aspect I really like in both series. But anyway, yeah. Haven't done an anime review sort of video in a while, so again, might do these more often. But anyways, that's about it. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.